Sounds like a new YouTube tutorial, John. You should take them and show them how to put it on correctly.
Yeah.
You know, you already went through the hard part, so then you show them the 5-minute video that we normally watch and say, why did it take me 2 hours?
Like my how-to video would be me boxing it up and then bringing it back to the store. That's what
Yeah, it doesn't work, man.
Anything wrong with it? No, I didn't like it.
You're like that one video with that old lady who's talking about, well, people always want to know how do you do the fitted sheets, how you do them up. Then she's like, you roll them. She starts swearing, you roll them up and shove them in the damn drawer.
You got to put your hands in the edges and fold it in half. And
yeah, it sounded like she was going to give you a really good tutorial, she heads up.
I would have thrown the damn thing out. Here.
You roll it up and shove it in the damn drawer.
Welcome to Skol Chat. We are a group created by 4 guys for the love of the game, specifically for our favorite team, the Minnesota Vikings. We are 4 fans who get together to discuss all aspects of the team. We have room to add a couple of you at a time during our airings and would like you to join us in our chat. Although the game may only last a season, the desire for the game and the team is year-long. Please hit the subscribe button, follow us on YouTube, and give us either a thumbs up or a thumbs down, depending on your experience, and leave us a comment. If you'd like to join us during the show, contact us at the email link provided below.
All right. Welcome to Skol Chat 40. Oh, you want to count in?
1, 2, go.
Wait, you skipped 3.
3 is go.
Oh.
It's supposed to be 1, 2,
go.
All right. Welcome to Skol Chat 45. This week, we're going to talk about Nolan Teasley getting busy and also some news that's coming out of Vikings minicamp, OTAs, whatever you want to call it. If you like what you see here, give us a thumbs up, hit the stuff and do the things. We're going to start off, though, with our memes. We'll start it off right. So last week we forgot and only we did it halfway through. And I don't really get this one because this is about a Vikings fan saying something to a Packers fan. But the funny thing is, it's like going in a movie theater and there's all these millions of seats and there's the person that comes in next sits right next to you. Well, nowadays it might be because they had to pick out that seat and they just happened to pick out that seat. But It's also when you're at the urinal, there's all these open urinals and the guy that comes in and starts going to the bathroom comes right next to you. So set this up, Vikings, right next to him. You guys have no first round. Sounds about right. Sounds like something I do to my friends that are Packers fans. But yeah, they don't. They have a 2nd round pick, a 4th round pick, and they just were given a 7th round pick for a compensatory pick. So they have crap next year for draft picks. So
I just got to make a comment on your meme here because actually, when my last duty station in the bathrooms, they had a little sign like this posted up. And then they had the X on the one where we're, stepping right up next to the person there.
For instructions.
Yep.
And so this is I went down the Reddit rabbit hole of NFC North memes, and all of them are just talking. And you'll see this if you get in the NFC North. So it's Chicago Lions with the Green Bay Packers helmet in the Vikings colors. I don't know. But anyway, so Kyler Murray is short in the Chicago Lions and then the Hammond Bears.
Yeah.
So this is the attention span of the NFC North people. I need to get a drink here.
Didn't they actually confirm that that's where they're going to go?
Well, yeah, I think even the Bears official website, it pretty much is announcing it.
Yeah, because I know last time we were discussing it, it was a pretty good lean in that way. Yeah, it sounds like it was sealed.
Yeah, I was completely surprised. The Bears are moving to Hammond, Indiana. Remember we were joking about Gary, Indiana?
Yeah.
But yeah, so all the memes in this NFC North thing is about the Bears moving to Hammond, and Bears fans are just losing their mind.
Yeah, okay.
The thing I was pointing out is they have all of this. It's in every single meme, there's the Chicago Lions, and it's the Packers helmet, Chicago Lions, and then the Vikings colors. But this is another thing. Again, everything's about it. So and of course, I haven't studied a map in a while, but I had to look it up that this is Indiana and not Illinois.
Yep.
So the extraordinary Giga Chad move. Goff wore his own jersey to a bar when he was a rookie. So, I mean, if I was an NFL player, I'd wear my own jersey around. It's if you're in a rock band, would you wear your own rock band shirt?
Yeah, what?
All right. I guess we have our own podcast shirts that we sometimes wear. I had to look this up though because I don't trust anything I read or find online. And he didn't actually do it. It was at like a fundraiser, and so there were other players there, and they all had their jerseys on. Sorry to ruin the fun, but there's so in the NBA right now, it's the Knicks playing the Spurs. The Spurs just lost. They had a 30-point lead and lost to the Knicks. So there's a lot of Falcon memes coming up from the Super Bowl with the Patriots back when they were up 31-3 or something like that, and they ended up losing. So it's the Falcons. It's another one here. Earlier, Kyler got mic duties. There's Kyler Murray's interviewing Victor Wembanyama or whatever, however you say his name. There's Kyler right there. Yeah. Again, that's a callback to that one meme where it says Kyler Murray's short.
No.
So I'm getting down to the bottom of the barrel with these memes, but I'll keep digging, see if I can get some good ones. I didn't get a non-sports one in here. I usually do throw one in, but maybe next week. But Nolan Teasley is getting busy with football things. John, you said you were kind of reading up on it. He's
Right.
made, sounds like 4 moves.
Yeah, got rid of 4 people. Assistant General Manager Demetrius Washington, Senior Personnel Executive Jamal Stevenson, Assistant Director of College Scouting Pat Roberts, and Pro Scout Sally Clavel.
And to your chagrin, is that the right way to say it? They kept Ryan Grigson, Dad.
What an idiot.
He's still got plenty of time.
So you're saying there's a chance. But yeah, so it sounds like he's like really stepping in and kind of, well, it'd be interesting to see who he hires, where they come from, if they come from the Seahawks or how it, what happens there. Any other thoughts on the moves? Mainly because I still got something in my throat. There's a frog in there.
I think
It'll be interesting to see what
missing
they said he's probably gonna focus on making it as, where he come from versus where we're at. Might be a good change for us, but it's hard to say.
We'll turn into the Minnesota Seahawks in the front office.
It could.
So right now, not right now because it ended today. It started on the 9th. The Vikings mandatory minicamp was taking place, and there's a lot of press conferences with players and coaches. And there are a lot of bits, players like, creating buzz, people getting excited about them, or other players talking about other players. But KOC had his closing of the OTA press conference, and he talked about a few things. And again, he talked about the quarterback competition.
Yep.
And I know we talked, there's going to be a competition, and we think Kyler's going to win. That's what our thoughts are. Kyler's going to be the starting quarterback. But
Yeah, that's what I think.
But he kind of talked about and gave some context to what the competition is going to look like and how long it's going to go. And you were saying, Dad, what did he say?
Well, he said it could, go as far as into the first, preseason game into or two, in whatever order, who's going to start, because he's looking at Murray and, actually all the quarterbacks, but he did say Murray and McCarthy. He wants to see him in the preseason game.
See him under any pressure.
And a lot of it, he came right out and said that, competition. It's not like lately or the OTAs and the minicamp that, they're working 2.5 hours or whatever, and they're not out there steady. One quarterback be out there doing their session and the other one's watching. And, because of the news conference that Murray had, he was made a comment, complain a little bit that, he'd been so used to, getting all the reps, in Arizona, so he said it's kind of hard to, get to know the offense when you don't get that many reps. Anyways, I guess so this guy bitching and complaining. Well, McCarthy got knocked about the classroom thing in high school. There's not much being said about what Murray's was talking about. That makes sense. That's, yeah, they got to have the reps. They got to have the reps in order to, be successful and all that. Well, yeah, but still.
Well, I was going to
They-
actually bring that up. I was going to bring up like last week, we thought that JJ kind of sounded like a petulant child, and Kyler kind of, seemed like the consummate pro. But this week, what you're saying about Kyler and what he said, and then did you hear what JJ said when he
He
was?
said he takes every rep he gets. He focuses on his reps. When they
Yeah,
come, to do the best he can.
And then
it's
he was
gonna be
asked
a
about the competition though too, and he's like, "This is where I wanted to be drafted. This is where I wanted to be. This is the system I wanted to play in. This is the coach I wanted to play for." And then he
Yeah.
said, "I wouldn't change where I'm at right now for anything."
Well, yeah,
So then
that's
he,
because he was asked about the trade rumors,
yeah.
and the thing is, no, he said, like he said, I told you all before the draft, this is where I wanted to be. So,
Well, so I
yeah.
think this week, like after those press conferences, I think again, just based on how it came out, I think JJ sounded like, oh wait, that's the way he should have sounded last week instead of, phrasing
Well,
it the way he did, right? His
true.
media
Yeah.
training should have came in and he should have kind of phrased things a little bit better.
Well, yeah, he was short and man in fact, and anyways, everybody's thinking, Murray is the pro veteran, and does JJ pick his brains, and whatever else. But he was asked about Carson Wentz, and he goes, "Yeah, he talks to Carson Wentz all the time." Well, they got something in common. They're both parents or fathers, and Carson Wentz got more experience. And so there's a conversation there. And
You don't hear Carson Wentz crying about snaps and OTAs.
no,
I'm joking. He
no,
doesn't get it at all.
he
Eat it.
got a few of 'em today.
Yeah.
I was gonna say between Wentz and Brosmer, sounds that they're getting very few in compared to Murray and JJ.
Yeah, well, in comparison, yeah, but they did get some in, yesterday and today. And But no, the thing is, they're gonna get plenty of 'em. Well, even O'Connell said, like with Wentz, he, you know, been in the league long enough, and you know, it's all mental and whatever, and he can go out there and place the ball where it needs to go and whatever. You might be off a little bit, but the whole thing is, Carson Wentz doesn't really need all the reps. And how old is Carson Wentz? He's in his 30s already, 32 or something like that.
I didn't even think he was 30 yet. I thought he was 28 or something like that. I could be wrong.
No,
That's
I think he's
Kyler Murray,
Maybe
isn't it?
they'll
Yeah.
throw us for a
But
loop and they'll put
he's
Wentz in the
33.
in the
yeah.
league.
So, you've been in the league for quite a few years and
So how old
whatever.
is Brosmer? Is he older than that?
No.
Brosmer is only 25 or 26.
Is he? Okay. Maybe that's
He was old for a rookie last year.
Yeah. And then, everybody talks about, well, if Murray wins, the Vikings are going to trade McCarthy. Why? Why do they think that?
I
Yeah,
think they want to
supposedly.
get something for him, and they don't. I don't know. I don't. It's just talk for one reason or another. Because in the NFL for years, QB competitions were seen as like you don't want that. You don't want your starting quarterback, but of course you don't want them to be looking over their shoulder. You don't want them thinking about anything other than preparing for next week's game.
yeah.
But I mean, back in the day, Bill Walsh would, set it up on purpose between like Montana and Steve Young. He set up them to compete against each other just because he knew it'd be better for the team overall. But the other side of it is they might be talking this up. They might be, once they name, like say they name Kyler Murray the starter, maybe they're trying to get some steam on JJ to try and, let it out there that he might be available and maybe get some offers. But I'm on your side. I think it'd be idiotic,
Yeah, because
especially after what they went through.
They got 2-3 years of his, contract, to what they are, and they're not paying him that much. They're better off, if he keeps on proceeding, make strides, be better off keeping him because he'll know the system and you can build the team that be the supporting cast, So it doesn't make sense. Why myself? Okay, so say they give the job to Murray. All right, put McCarthy up on the trade block. What do you think they're going to get for him?
Well,
But at this time,
they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna trade him because they don't want the same situation that happened last year where somebody got hurt and they had nobody to turn to.
right?
And then they're
right.
starting Max Brosmer against the Seahawks late
Yeah.
in the season when you still technically had a chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, then nobody can see where Carson Wentz be the number 3 for the money they're paying him. I don't know how much money they're paying.
I think Wentz probably will get in there, this year. It's hard to say.
But the bottom line is that's where the talking heads, the
Wentz and Murray have a lot of
main podcasters are making a thing about trading McCarthy. And who's going to trade any higher than what team is going to trade for McCarthy?
Well, I think
Vikings
part of
be
it,
lucky to get a 5th rounder for him.
I think part of it too is just it's that time of the year. There's not much to, we're kind of, finding it hard to find stuff to talk about. So they're just creating their own news. That's all they're doing.
Well, I guess what's his name, Tom
Pelissaro.
Yeah, and also Jeremy Fowler. Tom made the comment, wrote a deal or said something on whatever that what he heard on the line that the Vikings might trade McCarthy, and he said was talking like setting up a scenario.
Yep. And they're doing that, and then they'll just come back later and say, well, it looks like he did enough for the Vikings to want to keep him around yet. That's all they're going to do. They're just going to claim.
Well, Jeremy Fowler came back and says, whoa, wait a minute, because he got it from his source that they are going through with the QB competition. And it could go into preseason.
And from what I'm hearing is JJ's actually in the lead. I mean, he performed better in the OTAs and the minicamps.
Yeah, but then got the camp notes. I was listening. According to the camp note person, he said that in his view, McCarthy and Murray are even up because he was talking about, well, one day Murray had it, then the next time McCarthy, and the next time it was even or something or other and so forth. And he was talking about, McCarthy threw and they were only going at 40% speed or whatever. And McCarthy threw in a red zone the pass to, what's his name? The receiver everybody was knocking. They drafted last year. What's his name?
Ty Felton?
Yeah, Felton. And it's like, no, it was Jefferson. Threw a pass to Jefferson. And then it was like, what the hell did he say was standing right there, just watch the ball go by, otherwise he could have jumped in there and whatever. And it's a little shit and things like this. Then you hear about, Murray threw a nice layer pass, and all this and that. It's like, I don't know. I wish I could see the whole thing myself, make my own judgment.
From one of the articles I was reading, they said that Murray made those statements after he threw 2 interceptions. And
so he's making excuses for himself in a way.
Yeah, well,
here's my prediction. Murray's going to be the starter. JJ's going to be the backup. Carson Wentz is still going to make the roster. They're going to roster 3 quarterbacks for the season, and then Brosmer is going to be on the practice squad if he makes it there. Which based on how he performed last year, I'm pretty sure he would make it. That's what they were afraid of last year. They didn't want to put him on there because somebody might have sniped him, but I think he'd stick it. So that's my prediction. Might be too early. It might be actually what pretty much everybody thinks.
Okay, I got a question for you. I got a question for you guys. What if McCarthy outperforms Murray? So Tab has the starting QB. What do you think gonna happen with Murray?
Gonna want out.
What are you saying? Is he gonna cause a fuss or?
I mean, they set it up, letting him know that he has the possibility of not being the starting quarterback. So
yeah, as far as we know, But
You know what I think? I think he's going to make a bigger fuss than McCarthy would.
Yeah,
And
because he'll want to go
he's
somewhere where he
scouting.
can play. Because
Yeah,
he needs this year to prove to the league what he can do.
yeah,
yeah. He'll be
But
crying, trade me.
well, and I think that'd be internal. I don't think he's not going to want to
Yeah, throw a big
make it public. Otherwise, other teams are gonna be like, "Oh, I don't want that guy on our team."
yeah. I don't want that kind of attention.
You know, say we do sign him, and then all of a sudden he's not our starter. Because even if JJ does start and he doesn't start, there's another team that'll give him a shot to have his prove it
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
year.
I mean,
know?
look at Kaepernick did to himself, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't think he
Oh.
wants to try to do something like that. But of
It was
course,
kinda like
would not be happy.
kind of like along the same lines that you were talking about, though, right? So like Kyler threw 2 picks, didn't do well, and then talked about tried to make excuses for himself, and it's like, oh, I'm not getting enough snaps. I need the snaps because I need to learn the offense, and that's kind of like what Kaepernick did. He obviously used a different excuse, but
Yeah.
which when he was with the 49ers and he could run all over the place, I mean, they did well, but when they wanted him to stay in the pocket and learn the offense and run the offense and be accurate with the ball, that's when he kind of struggled. That's when he kind of got the bench. Any other talk about the quarterback competition? Anything else that anyone wants to put out there?
I don't
Well,
think
I'm just gonna, say the hell with it and just keeping tabs on it when training camp comes and, try to get as accurate reports as I can, I guess, or listen to on how it's going and whatever. So,
Well, I don't have any favorites. I'll say that. Like I want the best quarterback.
Best
playing,
quarterback, yep.
yeah,
so I could care
I do
less.
too.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
no,
again,
we
this
need
is-
that for sure. But then
Well,
again,
no,
It
we
would be better.
we had a lot of good throws last year, but we were not catching a lot of them. Honestly, we had a lot of missed catches.
Yeah.
It was terrible. We would have been so much better off if we
Lot-
could. It was
You
bad.
know.
It was bad. I mean,
Wow.
they got to also focus on our receivers being able to catch the ball.
And again, we kind of talked about it too. Like if
Yeah.
you're used to somebody, you know where he's going to throw the ball, and you know kind of what it's going to look like, and then all of a sudden you're having a quarterback carousel. So as a receiver from week to week, you have no idea where the ball is going to be when you turn around, and that's kind of where it hurt them too. But again, the quarterback play really didn't help the receivers.
Wentz might become first string, and Rosmer will be second.
Is that your prediction?
No, I thought I saw it somewhere on the internet. On.
Anything on the internet.
You could probably place a bet and make some money there, Tom.
Yeah.
Like somebody's taking that bet. I'm
What?
sure it's out there right now. I'm sure Vegas has it.
Oh, I'm sure. Maybe it's Murray and it's going to be Wentz.
Anything can happen. It's the NFL, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like we talked about, we just want the best player out there to give the Vikings the best chance to win. So there's been other player buzz. Have you heard about any players showing up at OTAs doing a good job?
Well,
the list I found, scrounged up.
well, you go through your list.
Is he flashing? He's not on my
Jennings?
list.
Yeah, Jennings?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's doing a lot of dirty work.
Yeah, they call him what is it? The
But,
mud guy? Or he's
I gotta go look at it. It's like dirty dog.
the dirt or whatever.
It
I
sounds
gotta
like
go find it.
It's got a muddy butt. What?
Yeah, I gotta go back and look for it again now.
Yeah, look that up. I want to know what they're calling him. With Harrison Smith. What, did you find it?
Yeah, I remember it now. It's Dirtbag.
Dirtbag.
He does everything.
I don't know.
And that's
Well,
actually a
the
compliment.
Yeah, that's a compliment. Didn't that tight end or whatever fullback they drafted?
Yeah.
He was referred to another dirt bag because he get his hands in the dirt, and block and whatever. And in fact, guy, come on, what's his name? The OC.
Wes Phillips.
Yeah, we're talking about him. And he said he's a smart kid, loves football, and he wants to learn everything, every position on the offense. So they're telling him, whoa, take it easy. Want you to learn this and get the fundamentals down and the technique. and then we'll go on to, so the guy's really hungry. So,
Yeah, I don't think he'll be out there playing center anytime soon.
no. The tight end, fullback.
What was the dog's name? For some reason, Dirtbag reminds me of the movie The Jerk with Steve Martin. What was his dog's name? Wasn't it Shithead?
Yeah.
Shithead.
I can remember one time at Marcia B. Harley was going off after something, right in the parking lot there, going, "Get back here, shithead!" And he turns around, comes back. I go, "Dumb dog doesn't even know what his name is."
Taking this thermos, this lamp. Yeah, with Harrison Smith being out, I hear that Jacoby Thomas is really kind of flashing out there. I think he's been playing with some of the starters or playing some starter snaps. So he was a name that was thrown out there. I caught a little snippet of Aaron Jones being interviewed or whatever, and he was kind of comparing Damon Claiborne to Jahmyr Gibbs from the Lions. So
yeah,
that's pretty good praise for a rookie.
Yeah.
Dylan Bell sticking out, I guess. People think he's doing well in practice. Ty Felton, you said he caught a touchdown, but then you changed it up. It was like a roller coaster of emotions. I thought he was doing good and caught a touchdown, but then you said it was Jefferson. Donovan Jackson is looking like a veteran, even though it's only his second year. So people look like, night and day from his first days last year. And then the Gink himself was talking up Dallas Turner, Diamond Dallas Turner. And he says that pretty soon that a lot of people in the NFL are going to be talking about, Dallas Turner. So, and then Jalen Redmond, said, he had a good year last year, but, needs to continue to prove himself, needs to keep his spot, he says. And then Flores in his presser was talking about players. And like he said, he's been pounding the table for years to get James Pierre on the team, and now they have him.
Yeah.
So, and then the other snippet I got, for some reason or another, I wrote it down like it was important, but who knows? Josh Oliver was talking about it, and him and TJ Hawkinson are best pals. They do stuff outside the facility together. So wonder if they have sleepovers, make s'mores, practice karate in the garage.
Sounds like Aaron Jones had a sleepover at JJ's in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, his plane got delayed overnight. So I called JJ and he came, picked him up, and he went and spent the night with him.
Huh. Well, maybe they could hang out with Josh Oliver and TJ Hawkinson and.
Well, that's another thing. I guess Aaron Jones said that him and Claiborne
Just hanging out.
going down to Miami, to work out together, So maybe Claiborne will get the lessons on blocking.
Well, I mean, I hope that's not what he's in there for.
I know, but I would just.
He's like 5'9", 190 pounds, if that. But I bet you he'd be a better blocker than Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, probably.
So speaking of AP, yeah, sounds like his kid is just do it all. He's in high school yet, but he just does everything extremely well, I guess.
Really?
In sports, yeah, track and everything, he just smokes everybody.
Huh.
So yeah, that little short cast I was watching on that, the guy's like, I'm not sure if it's the one he hit when he was like, or whatever, but he's like, he's disciplined for sure. He says that kid's definitely disciplined.
So maybe it was a good thing he had to pick his switch. If it was the one he switched.
Another one that was brought up about Will Fry, I could see came back to OTAs and that's slimmer than what he was. Well, he sitting around on that, he put on weight and whatever. But I guess he's doing pretty good, even though last year he was, wasn't as mobile, but he was a stump in the line. The way Wes Phillips phrased him, he was a stump, But I guess he's doing all right too. So, well, Brian O'Neill, I guess up till yesterday, he wasn't out doing like 7-on-7 or anything. He would do the workouts and that, but then actually doing the 7-on-7 or 11-on-11 that he wasn't out there. They had so and so out there. In fact, the one that they picked up from was it toward the East Coast there, Bills, or who was it?
The backup tackle they got?
Yeah.
Vandemark? What's his name?
Something like, well, he was doing Brian O'Neill's, what's out there as a right tackle. Then I guess O'Neill came back, so he went to left tackle because Darisaw was out. But I guess there was one time or another where both O'Neill and Darisaw were together there, So I don't know.
Darisaw was actually
Yeah, he's been at OTAs and
the 100%.
well, they
Sounds like
said that he's doing really good,
Yeah, it sounds like
Well-
good with them.
but they're giving them, a day off or whatever where he doesn't have to go out there on the line, I guess. But it sounds like he's doing all right.
Keep our
With-
fingers crossed because he struggled last year. When
Yeah.
he came back.
But going back to O'Neill, isn't part of why he's not? They think by kind of sitting back a little bit is he's got to get his contract redone.
Oh,
Kind of
yeah,
worrying about
because
that. He's 31
he
years
doesn't
old right
have
now.
a- Well, he's only got the year, but he
Yep.
doesn't have any guaranteed money left, So, and people have been talking about that, Like I'd be happy if they give him 2 years, and well, right now he's the 7th highest paid tackle, and there's one that now is the 5th highest one, and O'Neill's better than him, and that guy makes like 24 million a year or something like that. It's 25 mil. And right now O'Neill is only making 18. No, so that
That'd be
was
sad.
another subject on that. So
I'm assuming that he'll sign a 3-year deal at some point here.
Yeah.
well, you would think so, but then again, you don't know about our new GM.
Well,
But
I mean-
they'd be crazy letting the top
Letting
10
him-
tackle walk,
Well,
because
problem is like both of them haven't been healthy for a full season in a couple of years. I know he
how
would
many
miss 4.
players are?
Well, I know, but I mean, there's tons of linemen that like play their entire careers and miss like 1 game or 2 games. I don't know.
Well, you're thinking about the good old boys back in the 60s, 70s, 80s,
They had to
Well-
be built a lot tougher back then.
Yeah, like Jack Youngblood. Well, Jack Youngblood for the Rams played in the Super Bowl with a broken leg.
Well, so you could see they got their nose busted, blood hanging down their nostril or whatever. They're out there. I'm going to get you for this.
They're just concussion after concussion.
I watched some of those old videos, and it's just unbelievable what some of those guys were able to walk away from, and some of the crap they weren't able to. Pretty ruthless.
Yeah, they were rough, and they were actually out there trying to kill each other because, like, I know the Packers were the first one to hate the Vikings, the Vikings, being a new team and whatever, and Packers been around forever, and it's like, how dare you to come up here to the north?
Any other?
That's my 2 cents. Sometimes it adds up fast, don't it?
Yeah.
Depends what you're doing.
Nowadays, pennies aren't worth a shit. So yeah. Now I'm gonna be broke because my pennies aren't worth anything.
Any other players talked about or in the news or?
No, not that I can think of.
I know.
I came
Flores-
across some, but I never did look into any of them this week. But
Okay.
could be any good now.
Well, I know Flores was asked about Harrison Smith not being around, and he kind of skirted over and said, "Oh, we're going to have different players take over that leadership role." I'm assuming Harrison Smith, and we talked about it like over and over again. We're assuming he's going to be back, but like we talked about too, with like the league year starting, the Vikings now have about $14 million in cap space. And it sounds like, and we talked last week about like, okay, what positions do they need to bring in somebody? And I think we talked about edge rusher. Well, it sounds like Doogie Wilson, whatever his name was. It Wolfson? Doogie Wolfson?
Well,
And-
I don't know.
And
Yeah, good.
Alec Lewis, they pretty much like they reported that they're gonna one of these veteran edge rushers that are on the market are still available. One of them the Vikings are gonna sign. So we're gonna have somebody else added to the roster at some point here, probably closer to training camp or closer to the season, maybe.
Another thing that came up was Matt Daniels' conference. A question was asked about Will the Thrill, Big Leg Will. The question to him was about Will kicking 70-yard field goals. And Daniels was asked if that would ever be in the game plan or whatever, And he goes, well, maybe in Mexico City it might be a plan with the
Elevation and the thin air.
Yeah, yeah. He said, well, it depends on if don't want to go for it on fourth down and because of the yardage, being whatever. And
Obviously, if it's like end of half or end of game,
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a better chance of him hitting a 70-yarder than to make a completion on a Hail Mary,
right.
or at
I
the end of the
agree.
half, we're like, okay, well, we might as well try it. So
Yeah.
I could see it.
Well, then also the question was brought up about the punters, and we're talking about what's his name that been in the league, and that was another thing Daniel said. Yeah, the veteran punter
Johnny Hecker.
was at one of the camps that Will went to when he was a kid,
Yeah.
in camp. Yeah, so that was kind of, and then about the Husky that was drafted, about how he's doing holding, and yeah, he's doing everything, and he's got good hands, he can, whatever, just learning. He said with, what's his name, Paulo, the long snapper, Daniels was saying the way he, hikes the ball and that, where the lace is at, because the lace is on top or whatever all the time. And it just how to what angle and how to set the ball, for Will, how he likes it, So yeah, it was interesting. He said that he's doing all right, We're not, because Georgia, they used the quarterback to be the holder, So
Yeah.
anyways,
The NFL used to do that too. I wonder what year that changed.
yeah, they used to have the backup quarterback. I think they changed it like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, but yeah. Anything else? Any other player buzz? So it'll probably be pretty quiet the next week or so, unless, again, we sign that veteran defense and or edge rusher we were talking about. The only NFL news I forgot to talk about, we forgot to talk about it last week, was that Myles Garrett was traded to the Rams. So the Browns traded him and Jared Verse and a first round pick in 2027, a second round in 2028, and a third rounder in 2029. So, and I mean, I think I mentioned before, but the Rams and the Eagles a while ago didn't care about the draft at all. They would trade for players left and right. And I think the Rams are going all in before Stafford's last year or so before he retired.
Well, I guess, yeah, wasn't he extended for another 2 years?
Well, he was, but I mean, that's like we talked about Brian O'Neill signing a 3-year contract. Well, he's not going to probably play maybe 3 years with the Vikings. Will probably only end up being 2.
Yeah,
So you end up signing the 2-year contract, but we'll see what happens.
yeah,
But yeah, just like the Packers, they're not going to have very much draft capital next year.
right.
But it's kind of funny too. Like this is what Myles Garrett gets for the trade, and the Vikings got a third rounder.
Yeah,
I mean, something's better than nothing, right? But
Yeah.
Definitely.
for Gernard,
Well, then on top of that, Rams traded Bird too, right? What's his name? What was his name?
they traded to get who?
The Rams, along with the draft.
Oh, they traded Jared Verse. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was a good player.
Yeah, he's young,
Yeah,
but he's not a double-digit sack guy yet. I think he's only been in the league 2 to 3 years. He has potential. I know when the Vikings played them.
he was raising hell.
Yeah. So imagine him being in the Flores defense.
Holy crap!
Him and Dallas Turner and the Gink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see who they add to the roster, what happens. Any final thoughts?
No, I think we got her covered for this week.
I can't wait till training camp starts.
How
Yeah,
many
that'd be
weeks?
interesting.
Do you know?
When?
How many weeks?
How many weeks?
Yeah.
6?
Are you sure?
Thought it was 5.
No, I heard 6, so I would just.
I don't know. I don't know either. I was asking. I thought maybe you had them marked in the calendar and you're counting down days, or like before Christmas, you just like stop there, or you'd make the rings with the construction paper.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do that? Make the purple and gold construction paper rings and tear one off every morning?
That would be cool. Just like Christmas.
Well, every morning around 6:45 in the evening, tear one off.
6:45 p.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
It also reminds you to have your evening dessert.
What is the evening dessert?
Probably cinnamon rolls. I don't know if you even
Ah,
cinnamon roll.
do you still have the midnight or the evening snack of Cheerios?
Cheerios, every other couple nights or so, I'll
Are you eating when we watch the draft? You crush like a whole thing of cookies.
fudge stripes.
Yeah, those Keebler elves are hard to.
Here, see, yeah.
Yeah.
Burn. It's upside down. But anyways,
Is it? Oh, here. There.
there we
How
go.
about that?
Keebler can sponsor the podcast.
Look at how empty that package is.
Oh, you even buy the computers so they're handy?
That's not good. You should have covered up the brand name. They're not even filling that container full, brand new.
Yeah. Half full of air is what it is. Shrinkflation,
Well,
am I right?
Yeah, well, you know how it goes, easy
Oh,
come,
bring
You
it
must have been
back.
quality control that night. 5 for me, 5 for the box. 5 for me, 5 for the box.
5 for me, none for the box.
Right down the gullet.
Yeah, I do 3 at a time, sometimes 4. I have on my
Feeling frisky?
paper plate here. I'll sit here when I'm watching a good show.
But you have the package there. Why not just eat it out of the package?
I got to have something to catch the crumbs.
That's what you have pockets for.
I don't know. It's your method. I won't judge it.
I don't like it when I use the pocket because you know what chocolate does when it gets warm?
Not
Yeah.
it melts in your hands and on your mouth.
Well, it melts in my pocket, melts to my phone, so I gotta gently scrub the screen clean.
Like a weirdo licking it to clean it.
So you need to get some of that chocolate that the Hershey's made for the military, back in World War II. That thing don't melt. It doesn't do any, they had to use knives to
Cut it.
cut little chunks off, and they'd make a tea out of it and make them full.
Probably what they use to make Reese's peanut butter cups now, because there's no chocolate in them anymore.
Yeah, it was horrible. I mean, it's high cocoa content, so it was so bitter, but for them, but
Only 10% cocaine. Those guys were ready to fight.
I was watching a documentary about World War II in color, The Nazi troops, they were giving them morphine
Meth.
or whatever.
It was meth. They were giving them meth.
Meth, yeah.
Yeah.
So they could fight for days, I didn't know. No wonder they were crazy bastards.
Damn Krauts. Your ancestors.
Yeah, I'm crazy, but, naturally.
Not meth
They were-
crazy.
Not like that, though.
Or getting shit done, cleaning garages. Oh, I don't know. Mowing the lawn. All right. I think we're good here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Skol
Go
Vikings.
Vikings!
Go by.
Adios, folks.